Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 305 and 360 kickoff show for the 2025 season. I'm Andrew Reigel,
And I am Benjamin Wirt.
and we are very happy to open up the season tonight with practice night. You're looking on at Volusia right now with the 360 sprint cars on the speedway. The 305s are also doing practice at the moment, and tomorrow night at 7:15 the session will open for the 305s, and 8:15 will be the 360s for round one of the season. Our 305 and 360s over the past a little over a year have grown into be our premier series, and we've seen a lot of great drivers run with us, and I'm sure this year's going to be no different. First off, we want to take a look back at some action that we saw last season. Best finish for me is one of the things I wanted to talk about, and that finish from Williams Grove last May with 𝐒𝐫𝐤𝐳 beating 𝐒𝐞𝐫𝐢𝐳 in the last corner. That definitely sticks out to me. How about you, Ben?
Yeah, I think that definitely has to be one of the best finishes we saw all of last season. I mean, the broadcasters in that race, Tyler Bentley and Tim Henderson, described it best, very much Ross Chastain-like, with 𝐒𝐫𝐤𝐳 kind of riding the fence there in 3 and 4 to get by 𝐒𝐞𝐫𝐢𝐳 and hold on to the win there at Williams Grove.
Uh, here, here is a look at the standings from last season with the 305s. It was Jimbo Rooney that picked up the championship. Uh, he was pretty dominant most of the season, picking up multiple wins. Brian Kling was able to pick up that win, I believe, in the final race right here at Volusia, and he was able to pick up second. Dylan McKee should be another key factor this year, as he finished third in points. What do you think about this year's field for the 305s, Ben? Yeah, I do agree with that. I mean, obviously another event last season that we got to do that we'll be able to do again this year is going to be the King's Clash. I mean, it's going to be even bigger this year though, and I can't wait to get that one started. But we'll have to wait all the way to the end of the year this year. It won't be like in July like it was.
Yep, it'll be the best way to end the year with one of our biggest events on the calendar.
And obviously on our 360 side, the Cadenberry has been very much so dominant over the past, ever since he showed up really the last year or so. He has 22 career wins, which is way above anyone else.
Yeah, definitely. I know just before hopping on here, you talked about how his decision as far as if he's running full time this season is still kind of up in the air. So I think there's definitely a lot of our 360 drivers out there that are running for the points that are, kind of in a way hoping that he decides not to run full time to give themselves a better chance of trying to be the next 360 champion. Because if he does decide to run full time, then it's safe to say that he would probably definitely be one of the favorites, if not the favorite.
Yeah, he's always been a consistency uh, above anything else. As even last season, he did not get that many wins necessarily, but he was able to pretty much be in the top five every single week. That was similar with Jimbo Rooney in the 305s.
Yeah, Rooney in the 305s last season was definitely definitely the standout driver, but it wasn't really until the end, the last couple of races, that he really started to kind of stretch his legs in the standings. He was, very close with the likes of I believe David Flanagan was always like up there, like competing for it. I think Gary Steele was always in the hunt for a lot of the season, so it wasn't easy for Rooney throughout most of the season until those last couple races.
Yeah, I agree there. There was definitely, like Lincoln was probably one of the most dominant wins that he had in that. He really hit his stride towards the end of the season. I think he finally got the confidence, and that's a big part of the 305s, I feel like.
Yeah, 100%. I agree that the 305s is all about kind of getting confidence and building that consistency, and yeah, like you said, Rooney definitely was able to do that towards the tail end of the season.
Well, on to talk about this season. First off, I want to say that this we'll start with the 360s are going to be a $600 top 10 point fund this year. I mean, everyone, it's $20 to be a member, which it's free to race any race. You can just show up and have fun, but if you want to be point fund eligible or event payout eligible for any of the point events, that is only $20, and 10th place in points is going to get $20. So if you even just show up to probably like a good handful of the events, you will at least get your money back, that's for sure. And then the top 3 in points are also going to get trophies to end the season, along with multiple other ones like the Rookie of the Year, Most Improved Driver. The list goes on, and we'll get into that in just a little bit. What are you looking forward to most this year, Ben?
That is a good question that I didn't really think about, but I think the one thing I'm looking forward to the most that we basically didn't have last season is the return of the heat race invert format. That I think is going to be the one thing I'm looking forward to the most, to kind of spice things up and see some more action in the heat races this year.
Let me see if I can get that pulled up here quick. But yeah, this season we're going to be doing a 4-car invert because for the heat races, as we are going to introduce qualifying points. As you can see, there's our format for this season. We'll start the session with 10 minutes of practice, and we'll do a driver's meeting, but then points will be for the top 10 in qualifying. It'll be 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, and so on throughout the top 10. And then it'll be a 4-car invert, so then the fastest will start 4th in their heat race. And there will also be points for the heat races, so the winner gets 20 and it's 2 points down from there. And we're going to start 22 cars each event. But I think the invert, we've done it with our other divisions in the last couple months, and it has seemed to be worked out really well. Doesn't seem to affect the fast qualifier too much, as a lot of the times they end up winning anyway, and it just makes it more fun for the viewers watching at home.
Yeah, definitely. That's what excites me the most about this format, with the fact that you basically can score points throughout the whole night, qualifying, heat races, and the feature, and not just the feature anymore. And with the heat race invert, now, if guys maybe last season might have been kind of sandbagging a little bit in qualifying, this kind of, throws a little bit of a curveball in that sort of strategy. Like, you can still sandbag, but then you kind of forfeit out on qualifying points to get a good start in your heat race. So you kind of gotta, if you're already going to try and play that strategy, you kind of find the right balance there.
I also think another good thing is this is the relative format for all of our divisions, no matter what we run this year, other than NASCAR. So that's something that I wanted to really get this year, is to make something that just can work for everything, and that way, and I shouldn't have as many questions, even though I know it will. But I did come up. We do have a few special formats that we might be doing this year, occasionally, like the pole dash. The 4 heat race winners will be would then go into an 8-car dash there, and the number 8 car, whoever finished second in the 4th heat, for example, would take on the car that finished second in the 3rd, and they do a 2-lap dash. The winner would then face 6, and so on. And that would be how you start the lineup for the first 4 rows of the feature. Then occasionally we might also do a redraw for that top 8. That would probably just be one-off formats, like maybe once a month we'll do something like that, but just to shake up the racing a little bit. Then of course the 305s are back this year with their iRating cap, because they're more so the feature series and allows the drivers that just want to have fun and might not be able to win with the 360s. Instead of running at the back, they get to race each other and have fun and get more experience before they can make that jump to the 360 series. And we bumped up the iRating cap just a little bit this year to 3,500 to allow a few more drivers to be part of it without getting too high and allowing too many fast guys to be able to race with them. And then same thing with the 360s. We dropped the requirement to 2,000 and up. So that way there's a little bit more of a crossover between the two series as well. And also, obviously, Ben, the biggest change of them all is the fact that the 360s will be open setup for the first time in our league's history.
Yeah, I was waiting for you to get to that point. That let's just say I'm glad I'm not one that's racing in the 360s. I'm never someone that likes open setup. I'm always a fixed setup guy. So personally, for me, if I was a driver, I wouldn't like that change. But I know plenty of guys out there do like open setup, so it's definitely a good thing for the majority of our league, I feel like.
Yeah, to me, it felt like it was time to make the jump, as our drivers have gotten to the point where a lot of them, if they race our league, they would prefer it to be open setup, and it just allows the drivers a little bit more freedom with their race cars as well. Next, I'd like to go over some of those special awards that we had talked about earlier. A few of them are going to be our Rookie of the Year, which will be presented by Third Party Gaming. So the highest finishing rookie in the final series standings for the 360s will receive a custom trophy. And also the most popular driver, which won't actually just be for this series. It'll be overarching, like throughout all of our events. There'll be one driver with our league that will be voted on the most at the end of the season, and they'll get a custom trophy for that. And the driver that passes the most cars throughout the year will be awarded a free wrap, and then also the hard charger and all the our special events like the King's Clash, 360 Nationals, the National Open, those sort of events as well. And the same thing with the 11th. So even if you don't make the top 10, you still get something of value at the end of the season. And each event, Premier Racing Setup is going to give out a free setup pack for the Hard Luck Award. So even if you've wrecked 3 times in the night, you may still get something. The Paint Scheme of the Year, that'll be featured on the flyer for next year's schedule. The Most Improved Driver also get a trophy, and the driver that has the fewest incident points will also be awarded $15 at the end of the season. A lot of these awards will also be up for grabs for the 305s. The only one that won't be is the Rookie of the Year, as most of the 305s are rookies, so I sort of felt like They don't really need one, at least at this point. I guess now we'll go into talking about our schedule for this year. We'll start with the 305s. Obviously, tonight we kicked off with our kickoff show and practice night. They'll be practicing until about 9 o'clock tonight. And then tomorrow night, 7:15 Eastern's when the session will open for the 305s. It'll be 25 laps, and then the winner gets free entry to our Daytona 250 event, which is on Wednesday night this week at Daytona. And then next week will be $5 to win to be at USA. Then we'll head on to Lanier. That'll be free entry to the Reigel Cup, which we'll get later added on in the schedule. That'll be a big race towards the end of the season for them. The Icebreaker will be also there, $5 to win. And then the 305s get their spotlight on Monday, March 31st. The 360s will be off that week, and we'll do twin 20 features. That's gonna be a special format. And we'll get back to that here in a little bit. Then we got Kokomo. Then we go to I-55, Lucas Oil, Knoxville, Cedar Lake, and then we go to Lima Land before we have our summer break, because our last race here in the spring is going to be May 12th, and we'll take a break until we get to one of our biggest shows of the season for the 305s, the 305 Nationals, which is now expanded to 3 days this year. Going to pay $15 to win and $5 for third for the first 2 nights. As just like Knoxville in real life, it will be the field will be split in half. Half will run on Monday, other half will run Tuesday, and then be lined up by points on Wednesday night. And that will be minimum $75 plus a trophy to win. That gets bigger. The more cars we have, and it's at least $15 to start. It's only a $15 entry, so if you make the race, you will at least get your money back. How excited are you for that one, Ben?
Definitely pretty excited. I mean, not just for the big money that's on the line for that race for the 305s, but also the fact that it is at 𝐒𝐲𝐶, which will be our first time being at 𝐒𝐲𝐶 in the league history for the sprint cars.
I've heard a lot of good things from our drivers that have told me about it, so I'm looking forward to that one. And then after that, we get to go right back to 𝐒𝐲𝐶. After a couple weeks off after the Nationals, we have the aftershock there on Monday, September 15th, and that's when the point season really begins again. As I don't think I mentioned, but the 305 Nationals is a non-points event. So you can no consequences for wrecking in that one, pretty much. And then the Keystone Cup will be September 29th, and at the Greg Hodnett tribute race, which I'm personally excited about, as I was a huge Greg Hodnett fan growing up, and that'll be $8 to win, and it'll be 22 laps at Port Royal on October 6th. And with Eldora, which the winner of that one's going to get free entry to the King's Clash. And then we have Fairbury, which I'm not too excited about that one. That's never one of my favorite tracks. And then Oswego did not go great last year, Ben, but we're going to Weedsport this year.
Yeah, Weedsport. I think I've started to kind of get a little bit better with liking Weedsport. It's been growing on me a little bit, so I think it'll be all right.
Yeah, we had a pretty good race there last spring when went there. It was a lot better than I expected it to be. But yeah, we have Weedsport there on October 27th, and they take a pretty big break there, as that's when the King's Clash and a couple other events happen. But then we come back on the end of November, the week of Thanksgiving. Monday night is going to be the non-winners race, so it'll be all drivers that have raced that season that have not won a 305 event will be able to compete that night. And the winner is going to get free entry to all of the 305 races the following year. And then Tuesday will be that Regal Cup event, which the payout is still to be decided, but that'll be a really big event. One night only at Lanier, which is always puts on great racing with 305s. And then the last night of the season will be the World Championships. It'll be at Charlotte. That'll be $10 to win, and that's when we'll crown our champion the end of the year. And then as we started the season with our show tonight, at the end of the season, we will do our award show, which will be Wednesday, December 10th. That'll be all of our divisions that we did this year. We'll celebrate all the award winners and champions throughout the year. Now we'll get on to our 360 schedule. But what do you think about the 305 schedule this year, Ben?
I think it's pretty good. I mean, there's definitely some up and downs as far as certain tracks. I mean, I'm kind of with you there with Fairbury as far as it being typically not a great one just because it's such a small track, so there tends to be a lot more incidents there. But I mean, yeah, you have that stretch of the season with Huset's, Williams Grove, Port Royal, Eldora. Like for me personally, that would be a great stretch there, and obviously Lanier, like you said, is always a great track for the 305s. So I think it should be a really good season for the 305s.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, 305, like you said about Fairbury, I'm a little scared of that one. But that's why the schedule is made to be subject to change, right?
Yeah, I guess you could say that. But I mean, at the same time, I mean, there's definitely people out there that do like Fairbury. So
yeah, it can definitely put on a good show with the right level of cars out there.
Yeah, for sure.
Now we'll get on the 360 schedule here. It's relatively the same for the most part. Once again, we'll start out at Volusia tomorrow night, and that'll be open up at 8:15 Eastern. Qualifying will begin at 8:30. Then same schedule till we get to March 31st. As I said earlier, the 360s will be off for another league's special event. So the 305s will only be racing that week, but then they'll return April 7th. And then we'll take their break there. But the following week after that 305 Nationals happens is when our 360 Nationals will happen, which was huge last year. We had like 50 cars. It was a great show. Justin Stoles was able to pick up the win. Just as the 305s, we've expanded that to now 3 days, and a lot of money is going to be on the line. That's all I can say. I mean, we're going to do the same thing with the fields will be split, and I'm sure Ben's looking forward to that one.
Yeah, it should be a very competitive night for sure at Knoxville. Like you said, it was last season, and I don't doubt that it won't be the same thing for this season.
Yeah, that one's going to be a $30 entry fee. It's going to pay at least $30 to start, and then it'll be as I said, it could pay up to $300 to win if we get enough cars, but it's going to pay a minimum of $150 and a trophy to win. And Houston's, since the 305s got to go there twice, it's only fair that they get to go there at least once, so that'll be happening on September 15th. And towards the end of the season, we do move back the start time a little bit to 8:30, just to accommodate the drivers a little bit more that towards the season. And the Greg Hodnett tribute race once again will be October 6th. That'll be 27 laps and $12 to win for that one. And then the National Open does return Wednesday, October 1st at Williams Grove. The payout will still be decided on that one, but that was a heck of a show last year. Dudek and Hoffman put on a show for that last 15 laps or so. I'm really looking forward to that one. As you can see, most of the schedule stays the same. The twin 25s for the 360s will happen on November 3rd. That'll be the last point show before we get to the World Championships, because we'll take off the week after, and then we'll go to the King's Clash, which have a similar format to the 360 Nationals, except we'll start on Sunday with the kickoff show and the Sovereign Showdown, which Caden Berry was the winner of that one last year over Kenny Hoffman, and I believe Ross Kaiser finished third in that event. That'll be free entry, as that will not be part of that event, but it'll be $25 to win and $10 for third. And then Monday will be qualifying night number 1. Night number 2 will be Tuesday. Then Wednesday, same exact payout structure as the 360 Nationals. So it'll be a lot of money on the line for the King's Clash. And the following week will be that non-winners race. Same way as the 305s. So anyone that has not won a 360 race will be eligible to race that one. And then we'll end the season Monday, September 1st at Charlotte. I think we're almost ready now to interview a few drivers. At the moment, I do not see who we are going to try to interview first. I do not see 𝐒𝐩𝐫𝐢𝐬𝐬 Rooney there at the moment. But I do see Joseph Groom, so I guess we'll start with him. Hey Joseph, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good. First question I got for you. Is there any tracks you're really looking forward to racing this season?
Lanier is one of my favorites.
That's one of my favorites too. It's always I always like to rip the top at that one. That's for sure.
Yep. The bottom's always fast though too, especially once it slicks off, and you get grip on that bottom, and you can roll pretty fast just as you were going with the tack on the top. So makes it good, fun, interesting racing.
Well, hey Joseph, just a follow-up to Andrew's question. So obviously you just said Lanier is a track that you do like. What track on the calendar are you thinking that you're least looking forward to?
Least looking forward to, Oswego. Oswego seems to be my kryptonite. I either go out of the park or I crash on the inside wall. So we'll see if we can figure that out, and if we can run the top and stay off in the park, we'll be all right. But once we start losing that cushion, especially in 3 and 4 there, it starts getting real thin right there where the slide jobs come in, and it just doesn't have nothing there, and sometimes it just takes you right on out. So hopefully we can just stay on the top and 4 on the bottom and stay off the wall. You know, that's just one of the biggest things. I haven't figured out the middle there yet, so we'll have to figure that one out.
That's always definitely one of the most I would say like unique racetracks. Like Weed Sport's unique, but Oswego is just a completely different animal, I feel like.
Yeah, Weed Sport, you know, Weed Sport, you get used to the configuration, but Oswego, the track changes so very much, and the bumps on the asphalt track, it just adds so much character, especially once it starts slicking off. It even adds more character to it that you don't even think, especially in the grooves, on the top, middle, even on the high side. I mean, it all changes, and it changes each night. I've ran 100 laps in a big block modified on that track. I've ran it in a street stock on that track. Street stocks, I did good on the street stocks, but sprints, for whatever reason, I do have one 305 there in officials, so hopefully we can continue it. But we'll see.
Well, hey, Joseph, I do have one more question for you here before I give you back to Andrew. So we've seen you race a bunch of different cars here in our league. We've seen you in the sprint cars, we've seen you in modifieds, we've seen you in the late models. What's your favorite car to drive here on the sim? Is it the sprint cars? Is it the modifieds, late models, or is it something else that we haven't seen you in?
Definitely on the dirt side is definitely the sprint cars. Asphalt I do tend to the late model stocks. But I do like most open wheel on the dirt side. I have been dabbling more on the UMP side more a little bit this last season, just to get a little bit better feel in that. I might go try that a run for the next season 2 here in iRacing. We'll see what happens, but
Gotcha. Yeah, the sprint cars, I've always been a sprint car guy when starting out in iRacing, but I've definitely expanded to, a bunch of different other things. So I know what it's like, just like with you driving all sorts of different cars in the league.
yep, nope, it's a lot of fun. All the different cars, they have their own unique characters to them, and to try to figure out each unique characteristics to each car on how they, how the body rolls and this and that, and how the suspensions work, and it's a lot to get used to. That's why I kind of just focus on my dirt side, just onto the sprint cars for right now, because I am so new to the sim. I've only been on the sim for 9 months now, so 11 months. Sorry. So yeah, just trying to get used to it, get a little comfortable. I think the sprint cars have helped me drive other vehicles on the dirt. So as long as I continue working the throttle control and wheeling these things around, we'll maybe get a little faster on the other cars here.
Yeah, definitely. I know it definitely does take a lot of practice to get used to how the cars handle on iRacing. Like Andrew and I joined back in I think it was 2017, so we've been on here for basically 8 years now. But I know for those first couple of years, neither one of us were very good at all, and even the sprint cars, even though that was the one thing we raced. So it definitely takes a lot of getting used to, that's for sure.
Oh, I'm sure, and I'm sure you guys have seen the dynamics of the track changes and the tire models changing and all that through the process of the years too. So
Yep. Yep.
I'm just getting used to it. So we're learning. We're learning as quick as we can.
Well, Andrew, I think I've asked everything I want to ask Joseph. If you have anything else, I'll throw it back to you.
I got one question. It's kind of add on to Ben's there, but what car do you want to see us put on an event for that we have not done yet?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Andrew with the hard-hitting questions, putting you right on the spot.
I don't know. It might be fun to see some indie.
I always tell Ben I will try anything once, so you never know.
You guys got the pavement, that kind of expand on the pavement side a little bit. Maybe an Indy car. I don't know. A little something different. Different avenue. Different world.
There you go. You heard the man, Andrew. IndyCar races future event.
I mean, maybe. I mean, Indianapolis 500 for us, not out of the question. We'll see what happens. Well, thank you for taking the time to talk to us tonight, and good luck tomorrow.
Yep, thank you. I did one quick thing. I do want to shout out to my sponsors: S&M Racing, Majestic Apparel, and promotion and branding and apparel, and Royalty Motorsports. And look forward to a great season in the 2025 here.
Yep, thank you. Does look like Jimbo Rooney is there now, so we'll get a word with him next. Hey, Jimbo, how you doing?
Hey, how's it going, guys?
It's going
Good.
good.
Let me turn down the outlaw race that I have blaring in the background right now. Sorry, I wasn't ready for it. How's it going, guys? All
It
right.
is going. It is going.
Hell yeah, season's going. I'm excited. Let's go.
It's finally time. It's only been a couple months.
Yep, I've been itching. I'm ready to get back to it.
Obviously, you had a lot of success in the 305s last season, picking up the championship. This first question I got would be, what's your approach to tire management on different types of racetracks?
I've never even really thought about tire management at all until I've been racing asphalt lately, which changes all of it. But when you race asphalt, you really see a lot of tire change, and I gotta say, I really don't feel tons of it. I mean, I probably do, and I just contribute it to track. The track and dirt changes so much, so it's really difficult to kind of decipher what it is. But sometimes I try to go a little lighter, and other times it's who cares about your tires burn up on the top side.
What do you got for him, Ben?
Well, Jimbo, I know Andrew told me earlier that you plan on once again racing both the 305s and the 360s this season. My question is more so concerned with the 305 side of things. So obviously you come into this season as the defending champion in the 305s. So I just want to know, what's your approach going into the season that is going to try and make you be the back-to-back champion, and who do you think your biggest threat is out of the other drivers that are racing for points in the 305s?
Definitely, there's going to be quite a few threats, and I'm sure there'll be a couple new ones I don't even know about. But I'm pretty sure Flanagan's going to be back in there again, and I know he's going to be thirsty. So when he's on, he's on. So he was definitely somebody to worry about. I know Fred's going to be in the 305s, and he's definitely one of my tightest rivals. We were like, when we qualify, we're usually 100th apart, like every time. We usually finish right near each other, and so like that'll be a hard one for sure. And I'm really, want to focus on the 360s more so and try to get better there. So I probably won't be doing too much practice in the 305s, because I just want to try to get as many top 10s and top 5s in the 360s as I can. But I love the 305s. I seem to just be pretty good at them no matter who it's against. So I'm excited to give it a shot again this year.
Awesome, man. Yeah, sounds good. Yeah, and I guess follow-up question relating to the 360s. So looking at the point standings from last season, you ended up finishing 5th in the standings in the 360s. So with some more practice that you are saying that you're going to have in the 360s this season, how do you think your chances are of, finishing higher in the standings, maybe top 3, or even, competing for that championship in the 360s?
Yeah, I would love to. I definitely felt like I had a little luck on my side with 360s last year, like not too many good finishes. So top 5 in points was really awesome, and I probably was more proud of that than 305s almost, because it wasn't easy over there. There's so much stiff competition. So I'd really like to get more top 5s in my races, and always going for that first win. It can happen. So that's kind of what I'll focus on, and hopefully the points follow. And top 5 in the death, like Brad Sweet says.
Yeah, and I guess just one last question. I know I told Andrew I was only going to ask one question per person, but I want to roll, I guess you could say. So I was talking with Andrew before we went live here, and Caden is still kind of on the fence as far as if he's running full time in the 360s or not. So what's your thoughts there with him possibly not running for the points? Does that give you
sounds
much better
pretty
chances?
cool. Yeah, that definitely that perks me up a little bit. I'm sure he'll just sweep it and take our money sometimes anyway. But no, he's great, you know. And I've gotten a race with him and a lot of officials throughout the off season here, and I feel like every time I just get a little closer and a little closer. And he's such a good racer, you know. You can learn a lot from him. So I don't mind if he's in there or not. You know, if it's not him, there's plenty of other hardhitters too that give him a run for his money. And who knows who else is going to show up. So basically, race my race, focus on me, and my biggest the biggest thing I've been working on is being fast in the slick, and you know that's I think where the veterans show and the rookies show. You know, you can tell the difference. So I'm going to keep working on that and trying to just get faster when the track goes to hell, and hopefully that'll help me out.
Gotcha. Yeah, sounds good. Well, best of luck with that. And Andrew, that was my last question for Jimbo, so it's back to you now.
I got one last question for you. Let's see. Which one am I gonna pick? Let's see. Oh yeah. Is there any driver you really want to beat in the points this year?
As for like 360s.
Yeah.
I'd say, yeah, I definitely got. I mean, my first choice would be Fred, because if Fred's gonna do a full season, we're so tight that and we're just like, I get most of my competition like against him. You know, like if I beat him, I'm happy. But you know what? There's just so many 360 guys that are good. You know, so I would say one guy that I really look forward to is really good is Gavin Chatham. I'd love to Kate him. I'd like to see if I could maybe hang with him and beat him probably. Yeah, and I think Skirring got me at the end of the year last year. So that's the one. He got me at the end. So yep, I'm gonna get him.
Well, thank you for taking the time to come on to be interviewed tonight. And good luck tomorrow night.
All right, thanks a lot, guys. Thank you very much for putting this on. I can't wait. It's getting more and more official every year. You guys are doing an awesome job. So thank you very much for putting your time and effort into this.
Yep,
we
thanks for the kind
appreciate it.
words.
All right, man. Talk to you guys later. Hopefully, we'll be talking soon.
Hopefully. Have a good night.
Yeah, you too.
All right. Looks like next we'll get a word here with Michael Skirring. Hey, Michael, how you doing?
Hey, not too bad. How about you guys?
Really good.
Yep, good here.
I'm glad to hear it.
So, Andrew, what you got for Michael?
As first, let's start with what are you looking to improve on this season?
Honestly, just probably consistency. I know with the Harvest Cup, we struggled a lot. Either we would fall back early in our heat races or get taken out in our feature. So I think our main thing is just trying to finish higher up more consistently.
Yeah, you definitely talk about getting taken out a few times last season. That's kind of what my first question to you that I had was about, you know, getting caught up in all those incidents, you know, early in the season. I know towards the end there you finally started to find a little bit of better fortune and better luck. So what's the approach going into this season to try and rack up some really good finishes and staying out of some of those wrecks?
Honestly, I think it's kind of just look for an open space, because usually every time we would be involved in something, it would usually be in a common line. For instance, Lincoln, everybody was just right in the bottom, wasn't enough real estate, so we all just got caught up in it. So I think it's more just see if I can go somewhere where the other guys aren't, just that way I have clean air and have more space to move on.
Yeah, definitely, because a lot of last season we definitely noticed that you were, you know, qualifying well and, you know, starting up front a lot, but yeah, just a lot of times throughout that feature just wouldn't work out for you, and then you get caught up in something usually towards the end. So definitely looking for you to be, you know, up front once again this season and hopefully have some better fortune. Looking at the schedule, is there any track that stands out to you as one that you look forward to most, and any track that looks like your least favorite that you're looking forward to?
I mean, obviously, I enjoy every race we do, but the one that probably stands out the most to me would either be Lernerville with the twin 25s, or honestly, I'm also looking forward to the 360 Knoxville Nationals just because that's a home track. That and the Corn Belt Clash, that would also be fun. So I would say Lernerville, Lincoln, and Knoxville are probably my favorite 3 on the schedule as of right now.
Gotcha. And anything that stands out as something that you're least looking forward to, like a least favorite track on the schedule?
As far as least favorite, I'm probably gonna have to go with Fairbury. Never really been good at Fairbury. Just never really been able to be dialed in there. It's just kind of been our weak point. But if we can kind of work to it and get enough practice laps in, we might be able to do good. But that's probably the one track we might struggle with.
Yeah, Andrew and I would definitely agree with you there. We're usually not big fans of Fairbury. That does seem like it tends to turn into a bit of a wreck fest with it being such a short and tight track. I think that's all I have to ask Michael. Andrew, if there's anything else you have, I'll give it back to you.
I guess I'll ask you the same thing as I asked Jimbo. What driver do you really want to beat this season?
Honestly, looking at who all's registered and how last season went with the Harvest Cup, I'd probably have to say Landon Cardoza. I know he definitely has a lot of laps under his belt. He's put in a lot of time and effort. So he'd probably be one of my personal try and beats, but another one would probably also be Jimbo Rooney. I know he was catching me a lot in points there at the end, so honestly, if I can pass any one of them, then that'll make me happy, but I think Landon Cardoza is the go-to.
I think that's definitely a benchmark to set for yourself. And if you're able to compete with him, then you're going to be right up there in points. And I think that's a good place to go for this season. Do you have anything else for Michael, Ben?
No, I think I asked him everything I wanted to ask him. So, yeah, just best of luck to you this season, Michael. We're definitely rooting for you to have some good finishes and compete for that 360 championship.
Thank you guys so much.
Yep. Thanks for talking to us.
No problem.
I believe that does not look like our last interviewee is going to be in the Discord tonight to be able to talk to. So we're going to move on to now making our championship picks, Ben.
The best part of the show, the part that everybody has been waiting for.
Oh, I bet. We'll start with the 305s. What do you think? We should start with the top or the bottom, Ben?
I mean, we gotta start at the bottom. Gotta save our champion picks for last. Gotta make it suspenseful.
No, Ben,
you want me to
go first? Yep, you go first. Okay. I don't want to go first.
Which one are we doing? 305s or 360s?
305s first. We'll do that first.
305s first. Okay. So my sleeper pick for the 305s, I do not believe ran the 305s at all last season. Looking at the standings, I don't think so. I think he was in the 360s towards the end of the year, but he was not in the 305s. So my sleeper pick, as someone who could possibly get in the top 3 in points or even contend for wins and the championship itself, but I do not have in my top 3, is none other than Matt Taylor.
Yeah, I believe that is so. He did not race in the 305s last season. He showed to a couple 360 races, I believe, though. But he should be a good pick to run up front in the 305s.
Yep, I just think he had when he did race in the 360s, he did get caught up in some incidents, but it seemed like he had some decent speed, so I expect that to kind of carry over to the 305s. And I think he's definitely one to watch out for.
Oh, great. Now I have to make a pick.
Yes, you do.
Fine. I am going. I don't know if this is borderline of me picking someone I think could finish the top 3 or a sleeper. I'm going to go with the man Robert Puckett. He is going to be my sleeper pick. He was close on at least 2 occasions last season in the 305s and just was not able to finish the job. I think he definitely picks up a win this year.
Yeah, I like the pick. He was definitely on my radar as far as picking to either be my sleeper pick or even in the 3rd spot, but I went with someone else. I mean, these picks were difficult. There's just a lot of, really good drivers in here to pick, so.
And
feel
there's
like
a
it's
few
very
of
much
them
a
that
toss-up.
are sort of unknown drivers that we've not really seen race the 305s or even sprint cars yet.
Yeah, and I can tell you right now, I did not pick any of the new drivers that have not raced with us just because I do not know how good they are. So, for all I know, we could have some new driver that comes in and, steals the show, and we had no idea. But that's the fun of it being unpredictable, I guess, right?
Yeah, that is true. I guess now we're on to our 3rd place picks for the 305s.
Yep, my 3rd place pick to finish 3rd in the 305 standings for this season. He was finished in the 10th spot last season in the 305s. Did not race all the races. That might be part of the reason why he was down there. But when he did race with us, he was, pretty quick. And we were also supposed to interview him tonight. He was one of our scheduled interviewees, but at the last second was unable to make it. And that is Ty Dickinson.
That's a good pick. I was actually debating picking him for my pick. All right, let's see. Who am I going to pick for 3rd place? I think I'm going to go with Jake Roya to finish 3rd in points. He didn't race all the events last season, but I expect him to improve quite a bit and be able to get into the podium in points at the end of the season.
I was not expecting that pick, but I think I like it. I mean, yeah, we've talked to him a couple times before, and he talks about how he's just trying to log laps and get a lot of practice in the sprint cars. And at the same time, he also does have, one of the best to learn from in Caden Berry. So he's definitely going to have a lot of that knowledge kind of under his belt. So I think that's a good pick there.
Now we're on to 2nd place pick, Ben. Who's it going to be?
So my 2nd place pick in the 305s for this season is going to be someone who not only won last season, but won multiple races last season. And that is our defending champion. We just talked to him a little bit ago, Jimbo Rooney. I think he gets close to making it back-to-back, but comes up just one spot short, so I have him finishing 2nd this season in the 305s.
Yeah, no, I'm just going to go for it. I was probably going to pick him for 2nd too, so I'll just join in with you, Ben. Bandwagon.
I see how to just copy my pick. Yep, I mean, and since he also mentioned that he's going to be, taking more time to focus on the 360s this season, I think it makes even more sense for him to possibly only finish second and lose out to someone spending more time focusing on the 360s.
I agree. Also, I think it's one of those drivers that it's not 100% sure if they're going to be, like, if they get over 3,500, they may not be able to race the whole season. So that's one of those drivers I feel like is on the edge of getting over that.
Yep, that is a very good point. So I guess now we're on to our champion picks, huh?
Yes, we are.
All right. So my pick to be the 2025 Regal Promotions Esports 305 champion is, he raced all 8 races with us last season. He did not win, but he was very consistent, especially towards the end of the season. He had plenty of good results, and I think he was pretty good at staying out of trouble. Finished 4th in the points last year, and that is Gary Steele is my prediction to be the champion this year.
I think that's a pretty good pick. He did, yeah, once he was able to get luck on his side, he was able to really stay up front. He's their driver, I believe, that's going to be in contention for the win come Wednesday at Daytona as well. He is signed up for the full season for the Pavement Series. Gary Steele, sorry, but I'm not picking you to win the 305s. I can't follow Ben twice in a row.
Let's say you just don't want to pick him just so you don't copy me. That's all.
I am going to go Brian Kling to win the championship this year. He got second last season. He was able to. He had that momentum. He won at Volusia to end the season back in December, and that's where we're at tomorrow night. Maybe he'll pick up his second win in a row.
That is true. That is a good point. I mean, yeah, and out of the drivers we haven't said, there's still plenty of other names that could very easily compete for this championship. I mean, just looking at this list, I can immediately see 5 that we didn't name that are definitely in with a good shot at this championship.
Yeah,
So,
just a couple, to name a few that we've actually have seen with our series before. Dylan McKee, he always runs up front, especially he finished, I believe, I think he was either second or third in our micro championship.
Oh, in the micro championship? I thought.
Yeah, I mean, he was also third in the 305. So yeah, he's definitely gonna be one that's gonna be right there in the top 5 in points. Tyler Flynn showed a lot of speed when he did show up last season. Joseph Groom will be one that we did not see last season, and we saw him. He did run the 305 Nationals last September, and he showed quite a bit of speed there. But as he said, he's relatively new, so he could improve quite a bit throughout the season. Now we can move on to our 360 picks, Ben. I guess I can go first on this one since you went first last time.
Oh, now I get to be the one to get called out for copying you, huh? Go ahead.
I think for my sleeper pick, I am going to go with Josh Whiteman. He is going to be a rookie this season. Definitely going to be a top runner for the Rookie of the Year award. He's ran 1 or 2 shows with us before, but he's never ran a points event. He made the 360 Nationals A main, which was a feat in itself with the field that we had assembled there. I think he's definitely going to be right around the bubble of the top 5 in points, if not better this season.
Yeah, I definitely, him being a rookie and him not really running too much with us, I gotta be honest, I didn't really have him on my radar, but I mean, with him making that stacked field, I mean, it's definitely possible that if he's able to, to run consistently with us, then, he's for sure one to watch out for. But yeah, that is not my sleeper pick. My sleeper pick is also a guy that, has ran with us before, but not too terribly often. But when he does, he definitely shows good speed. And I know in other leagues, specifically the Dirty Old Bastards League, he runs in, and he is really fast in that league. So my sleeper pick is Bowen Smith.
That's a good pick, as he's one of those drivers. He's raced with us, but he has never been able to have good luck. Let's just put it there. Something always goes wrong.
Yeah, I think if the luck can go his way for the most part, and if he's able to race with us consistently for this season, I think he's one to watch out for.
This is back to me now.
Your third place pick.
I think I'm going to go with the newcomer Landon Cardoza to finish third in points this season. He is a Pro Series driver who is obviously has a lot of speed. He's never ran with our league before, so it's tough to really say how he will be able to maintain consistency throughout the 18 race schedule this season. But I do think he'll have enough speed to find victory lane at least 2 or 3 times and be able to be in the podium of the points.
Yeah, looking at our list of full timers, I kind of think I must have missed seeing his name. So, because he's definitely one to watch out for, but I did not have him as my pick at all. But yeah, definitely with being a Pro Series driver, I mean, yeah, he's definitely gonna be up there. That's for sure. If he's able to make it here consistently with that pro schedule. But my third place pick for the 360s is somebody that I know very well because I used to be teammates with him in a different league, and that is none other than Gavin Chatham is my third place pick. I think over the last year or two since I've raced with him as teammates, he's gotten to be even faster than he was then, and he was already fast then, so he's definitely very fast now, and is usually pretty good about keeping out of trouble. I mean, sometimes trouble finds him, but
I just think of that Lincoln race last year.
Yeah. But yeah, if he's able to stay out of trouble and able to race with us consistently, I think he's definitely one to look out for. So that is my third place pick.
I think that's a good one. He did show some diversity as well, as he made that stacked field a couple weeks ago with the big blocks at Volusia, and was able to run right outside the top 10 for majority of that 75 lap event.
Yeah, he's someone that I know is always good when as the track slows down, he gets better and better. So, and for the 360s this season, that's definitely gonna be the case. The track will obviously be pretty worn in and fairly slick for our feature event, so he's gonna be coming alive for those. But now we're on to your second place pick, Andrew.
This might be the toughest pick I make, I think. So I know who my champion pick's going to be. I think I'm going to go with, for second, I'm going to go with Braden Matson. He actually got second in points with us in the Harvest Cup, and he's not picked up a win yet. I mean, he came as close as he could have in that final race, getting past in the final corner. Heartbreak there, but I think he's definitely going to break through for a win. That's almost a guarantee this year. But I think he comes up just a little bit short and finishes second once again.
And before you say anything, he is also my second place pick. And no, I did not copy you. And I have a feeling with what you said about who you know your champion is, I have a feeling we have the same champion pick too, but we'll get on to that in just a second. But yeah, Braden Matson is also my second place pick, like you said. He was very close to breaking through for a win last season. Finished second in the championship, only behind Caden, who as of now we don't know for sure if he's running full-time this season or not. So if he's not planning on running full-time this season, then automatically Braden Matson kind of becomes the next man up as the favorite in a way. But yeah, I think he's also someone who's shown very good speed, is usually fairly consistent, able to kind of stay out of trouble for the most part. So I definitely think I definitely agree with you there for that being our second place pick.
Well, I'm yeah, like you said, I'm pretty sure we're picking the same person for the championship.
Did we say it at the same time?
I mean, we could try.
Let's try it. We'll say his name in 3, 2, 1. Trevor Royer. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, he's shown a lot of speed over the past couple seasons, really. I mean, he came closer than anybody other than Kenny Hoffman to winning the King's Clash. They traded sliders for multiple laps at the end of that show. And when he's not been dealt bad luck, he's always towards the front and remains consistent. I think he's definitely going to be a driver to definitely watch out for this season. And I believe he should be definitely on the top 3 come season's end.
Yeah, he's always one of the fastest drivers, no matter where we go. It seems like in iRacing, going back all the way to the Summer Sizzle, the first season he raced with us. I mean, for the first half of that season, he was looking like he was gonna steal the championship from Caden, because he was there neck and neck with Caden, even beating Caden at times. But towards the second half of the season, just bad luck started to hit him, and he, lost out to Caden in the end. And then that bad luck kind of transferred over to the Harvest Cup last season, and he struggled a little bit with getting caught up in other people's messes last season. Looks like he finished 6th in the championship.
Yeah, and I know he didn't make all the shows, I don't believe either.
Yeah, yep. But yeah, if he can just stay out of trouble and avoid the bad luck, I mean, he's definitely one of the fastest guys that we have racing full time for us this season. So I think it's hard to pick against him as of now. Normally I would say that for Caden, it's hard to pick against Caden, but we don't know if Caden's running full time. So
yeah, like there's multiple drivers who could sign up tomorrow. Names that have raced with us before, and new names could sign up as well. But based on the current drivers, I mean, it's already a really stacked field. There's a lot of guys that we didn't even mention in our picks here that, just like 305s, I mean, even more so for the 360s, though, as basically any of the 17 that are signed up currently definitely will have at least 1 or 2 top 5s this season, as they're neck and neck with each other. They all have a lot of speed, and there's a reason that they run the 360 series.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I definitely was contemplating picking Matson over Royer. I felt pretty good about picking those guys as my top 2. Part of me was thinking of picking Matson over Royer, but yeah, in the end I went with the same thing you had, Royer over Matson. But yeah, like you said, there's plenty of guys that we didn't mention that are definitely guys to still look out for, that have shown plenty of speed. Just looking at this list, to name a few, like Michael Skirring, finished kind of under the radar a little bit, finished 4th in the championship last season. So obviously he's one to watch out for. You also have Brian Kling, who is one in the 305s. Could always do some, make a name for himself in the 360s. JP Scheider, I know, is decently fast. You mentioned like Josh Whiteman and Landon Cardoza, some new guys. You have Jimbo Rooney, who said he's focusing on the 360s. So you just have a lot of guys to look out for.
And as we said, there probably be even more by this time tomorrow night when the session opens, as we expect at least over 25 cars to be there tomorrow night. And we're ready to start the season. I mean, I know I'm excited. I don't know about Ben, but maybe he'll get excited eventually.
I'm excited. It's going to be a long season, but at least the 18 weeks are kind of spaced out over the course of the whole year, so it's not too much on everyone's plate, both drivers and admins equally. All at one time. At least it's a little spread out, and obviously plenty of exciting money events thrown in there too. So a lot to look forward to.
Yeah, I mean, this season, and as we said before earlier in the show, there's plenty to look forward to. It's not just the guys that are going to win every week that are going to be able to get payouts and prizes. Anyone in the field, if you race enough races, you will win something. I can almost guarantee you that. Is there anything else you'd like to say before we start to sign off, Ben?
Just big thank you to all the drivers that have signed up for so far this season, as far as full timers and even for the money events, and even full timers for stuff that's not the sprint cars, like the modifieds and the late models and the asphalt series. Obviously, modifieds have already kicked off, but yeah, just great to see how far this league has come, Anders, since we started it, a year and a couple months ago, back in fall of 2023. So we hope to keep on building off of it for the future.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I feel like we definitely have a great base now. We've been able to build it into not just the sprint cars. That's what we started with, and that'll always remain the I would say main focus of the league. And there's not much more I love than sprint cars, but but definitely look to see the pavement series continue to grow. Is that something that we have a lot of passion for, and we'd like to see the NASCAR type things take off. Obviously, the big blocks, they're some of our favorite, and they put on a heck of a show each time. And the late models, I mean, they're by far the most popular division on iRacing, and we look forward to kicking their season off next month. Well, I guess not next month, later this month. Let's put it that way. But sprint cars, I mean, there's going to be a lot of races this year. As you said, there's to be spread out some more. And Volusia has always put on a good show. I mean, it's the place that we started all of this. It was race number 1 of our inaugural season back in 2023. And I think it'll be the 4th time that we have visited there with the 360s. And we look forward to getting it started tomorrow night. And we'll have a couple more races coming up. And as always, if you anyone watching has any suggestions on how we can improve the league, we're always open to suggestions, and we'll just keep on trying to get better. Thank you all, and we'll see you tomorrow night.